Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. And check out Dudley and Siochis apparently de-stressing by having a dance party. I have no idea what caused this to start happening. It just started. I bet if I move my cursor back into the... Yeah, okay, there it goes. I wanted to make sure that was recorded for posterity. They're going to be embarrassed, pretending they don't dance, but everybody saw it now. It's too late, guys. Alright, let's go get some relics, I guess. I do not, in general, love these relic missions. Do we have anybody wasting? There's not really any reason for me to bring 2 vials of blood, though. Is there any reason for me not to? I suppose there is a chance that we don't find any blood on the run. And if that's the case, then after using this blood, which I will almost certainly have to do, we would have reclaimed this inventory space. So, yeah. That's a good enough reason, I think. So this party's a little unusual, but I think it should be pretty powerful. What else do I want to bring to the cove? I want to bring a key. I want to bring some holy water. And purify those brackish pools. Wait a minute, do you do that with holy water? Because it's dirty. It's not corrupted. It's not like unholy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Whatever. This is fine. We don't want to bring too much stuff on these missions where you ferry back relics and stuff. It's really, really easy to run out of inventory space. You will do it quickly. The fishfolk's scaled skin affords them increased resistance to bleeding attacks.
Recover these lost shipments of rarities,
Man.
that we may prevent them from falling into even less scrupulous hands.
Well, that was fast. Yeah, sure, here. Okay, well the good news is that he spent very little time craving and no time in bloodlust.
Are often low on supplies.
So hopefully we will not have too much additional stress from him freaking everybody out with his constant desire for blood. Okay, well that was a waste of time. We had to check though. So this feels like maybe a little bit larger map than usual. I'm not sure what the average size is, I guess. I can't say for sure that this is definitely a bigger map, but it feels pretty large, doesn't it? A single portrait. Okay.
Another mariner, another misfortune.
Come on, scouting. Okay, here's our first thing. Here's our first giant crate. How are we going to carry 3 of these back to base anyway? How are we going to fight while carrying a couple of them? This doesn't make any sense. Alright, I don't suppose it really matters which one we go for. I suppose we should try to focus up on one that hasn't yet had his action, on the chance that we can, prevent that. Alright. Remember, finish him does 25% extra damage versus stun targets. Ah, not quite there. Is the bola going to do enough damage? Maybe. I think let's just snipe him.
A faint hope blossoms.
Okay, that's not so bad. So, which one of these guys do I think is not going to get a turn? We pretty much just have to guess. I've decided you. So now that this guy's already stunned, though, I wonder, is it more efficient to maybe, oh, you can't uppercut the guy in the 3rd row. Is it more effective to disable somebody else? We know he's not going to get a turn here. Probably the Arbalist can deal with him. I mean, there's a very small chance that we could crit this guy just in half. 1 blow. Ah. That was a pretty good damage roll, though. Please stop spearfishing me.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
This might be a... Well, If I hit this guy, he dies. That's probably better than just throwing the heal out.
Destroy them all.
Unfortunately, I don't believe that the Arbalest can heal herself. Alright, well, he doesn't get an action next turn, so let's just take a moment here. Yeah, she can't... I don't know if it's that she can't heal herself, or if it's that she can't heal the fourth row, but in any case...
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
Aw, net -1 health, what a shame. Alright, let's be rid of this dude.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
That wasn't too bad. We didn't take too many hits there.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
So, some things are better left unopened. You know what? That's fair. We probably don't want to know what was in that crate. She's having a rough go so far.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
And we gotta make sure we get some healing on her in this next encounter. Man, maybe we're gonna get this done really, really quickly. Also, I really wish we could land a scout. It would make it so much easier if I didn't have to go into every little alcove and offshoot here. I don't remember not touching it. I have vague bad memories, as though from a past life. Something tells me this thing is not to be trifled with. Okay, that's not a bad start. She has 7 speed. The thing is, if we're going to kill her, also having her be the target of the stun feels a little bit like a waste, but I think she's going to get her turn before we can finish her off. No, maybe not. Well, even so, though, let's just be done with her. Okay, that wouldn't have been a lethal attack if not for the damage from the stun anyway, so... Alright, this dude is definitely next. Just to make sure he doesn't go nuts and kill our Arbalest with a big crit or something. Unfortunately, not everybody in the party can hit him. You're at 9 health. We probably don't have to... Yeah, we probably don't have to heal you. We can probably focus on just lowering the number of enemies. I guess it'd be cool if you also did not take a turn. Alright, there we go. Now I feel like things are basically under control. He's at 65% stun resist. I mean, we could throw up on him. My options are basically do 1 to 2 damage with the chain. Or throw up on him. I guess we'll just hit this guy. We can take this guy down.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
That's 2 damage per round for 5 rounds. He's definitely getting the bandage. I feel okay doing that. That just made things worse. Alright, yeah, let's not deal with any of that nonsense. So his mark lowers the prot, but he'd be the only person to take advantage of it because the Arbalest can't shoot the front row with her ability that does bonus damage versus marks. We're actually over 50% likely to get this stun. Why don't we just go for that? Oh, now it would make sense to have marked him. You know what? Let's get this over with. Take that. Now some weird guy you don't know threw up on you. We have a moment. We have a moment. We're going to be okay. We can throw in one or two heals here. Just real quick. Okay, we're in pretty good condition here. And I mean, we're running this guy all day. He has very little hope.
Momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Inventory's already starting to feel a little crowded. You know what? A shrunken head on a string? Absolutely. Carry that around all day. But somebody's short spec script? Nah. No, that goes in the garbage. Well, I guess that's an inventory slot freed up. I'm gonna take a risk here and let the torchlight dwindle a little bit. We don't really yet need to use our campfire, like not for recovery purposes, but I do want to get the inventory space cleared out. So 2 fights in pretty dark conditions. I think we can handle it. Oh, so close. And then he calls him a name. First you stab him, and then you really get to the heart. Okay, good resist. Alright, him casting Call of the Deep is definitely the best thing he could have done. This is going to have very little effect, because these guys do barely any damage in the first place. I am pretty happy about that outcome. I think he could have, like, thrown a stress attack or something. He could have done something useful.
Inspiration and improvement.
Oh, that's true. He does have the salty gouge. Things aren't going that well, and he's getting mad. Listen, I understand. I've been there.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
Who hasn't done a salty gouge at some point in their life? Alright, let's battle. Oh, this actually, that would have been a good thing to have holy water for. Oh, I did keep the holy water. That's right, I thought about not taking it, but then I did not take it. It's probably better to... I think I've been using the knife, but it's probably better to do Abyssal Artillery in these situations because it's more likely to hit. The average damage of Abyssal Artillery is probably not actually different from the average damage of the knife when you factor in the accuracy difference. Okay, there you go, guys. We gotta make up some of that 40 stress that just got dropped on us. We just kind of let it slide because it's game mechanics and whatever. But, like, seriously, for a moment, really consider the sheer sadistic evil of intentionally stressing someone out so much that they first of all go mad and secondly have a heart attack. That's that guy's whole plan. He's like, I'm going to find some strangers, I'm going to sneak right up on them, and then I am going to drive them insane and torture them until they just collapse under the weight of my cruelty. That's messed up. Alright, lucky blind fire. Unfortunately, he has a lot of health left. Okay. I was gonna say, if she does get to go first thanks to her speed buff, she still probably won't be able to kill him because there's no way he's going down to Ebola. This is gonna do so little damage. 2. We got him for 2. We definitely got to get a mark on this guy. Alright, it costs us basically nothing to try for the chain stun. I'm going to use the Bounty Hunter's mark to peel some prot off of him. Man, that's all we could get out of the mark damage? There we go. A significant part of the mark,
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
a significant part of the mark for the Arbalest is the crit chance that it gives. So, alright, we can equip this on her with no penalty because she already has 0 dodge. Alright, so we'll take this, and then I'm pretty sure we just sanctify this weird fish idol. Plus 18% damage until camp. Well, I was about to camp. I should have waited until after camp to do that. Well, I don't think that changes the plan, though. So we don't really...
A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
Don't really need to do too much to repair our situation here. I think we can spend most of this buffing. So let's start with... Do we have... Oh, we do not have ambush prevention. You know what? That's fine. I dare them. Come and get it. So... 18, 15, 19... You can do a little anger management. Stress himself out in order to lower everybody else's stress. That actually seems totally fine. Since he has such a hard time... Or such an easy time getting rid of stress. And then we'll, like... We have 9 time left. So we could, like... We could buff up the Bounty Hunter or the Arbalest, and that'll take us to 7. We can have him do this, and that'll take us to 4. Then we do, like, tracking and a pep talk or something. True story. Put an axe in their eye. It doesn't really matter how big they are. Dark Strength is probably right. We'll just go ahead and let him be a little stressed out. Let's really layer the damage buffs onto this guy. Now, he could abandon all hope. He'll be fine. We will pep talk him. Keep him under control, and then I guess we'll just do this. It's an okay camp. If we get ambushed in the night, you know, things won't be totally ideal, but...
Secrets and
here we go.
wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
Well, that's not so bad, as far as ambushes go. So let's start with... Who am I more worried about? I guess the guy in the front. I think the 2 in the back can take the hits okay. But I don't really want to eat a crit sword strike from this guy. Spearfishing is a lot more dangerous once it has the ability to rearrange the party. Aww. Okay, well that was pretty simple. Not much of a fight at all, honestly. As far as ambushes go, this was a pretty poor one. To be fair, they were probably pretty surprised as well.
Devastating blow.
Yeah, 75% prot, but, you know, maybe we can, like, crit him real good. Yeah, 2, get him.
The will to fight falters.
The brine's not very dangerous by itself, but like I said, I think it has a chance to spread disease. And obviously some diseases can be a real issue.
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
So I have to wonder. It really seems like we're getting a lot more blood. And I know that they did patch... they did release a patch that raised the blood drop rate. So I'm wondering if maybe we don't need that building that brews 2 vials of blood every week after all. Our blood supply has been climbing. But, you know... it's hard to say that that definitely means we're safe. Because we could be having a good run. And we could end up having a bad run in the near future, you know. Let's take advantage of this bonus damage from stuns. I'm gonna stun this guy in the hopes that we can just kill this dude the old-fashioned way. Which is to say quickly, I guess. In the past, people did everything so quickly. It's a very common phrase. Everybody knows this. Alright, do I want to throw a heal? I'm going to trust in my party's ability to get the job done. And actually, this stun still has a pretty good chance of landing. Okay. Alright, we are all set. I mean, people are only missing 5 health. I guess just heal yourself? Yeah, that'll work.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely...
Come on, scouting. This would be a really good time for some scouting. Alright. Okay, we got the big scout, so now we know the entire rest of the thing. There's the quest item up there. I guess let's go for it, and then we'll see if we want to go and get any of the rest of these loot items afterward. Man, is it just me, or does it feel like they haven't really been putting up much of a struggle? Alright, so since we know none of them can act until after we all act, I feel pretty safe stunning this guy while attacking the other guy. Alright, we blind fire and hope to hit the fishman, but honestly, either one of them would have been fine.
Confusion, nerves, and panic.
I guess it was too much to hope for to get lucky twice in a row. We probably don't have to stun the fish guy. I think he's done for. There we go. I had a moment of doubt. I'll admit it. A very impressive 2. Okay,
creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Those are not great. That said, they are worth money. So what can we discard? We don't really need to carry around all this food. There's no way we will have enough food events. So let's take this. We do need the bust as well. Don't need these medicinal herbs. I could drop the torch at this point, right? That's a room battle. Yeah, let's go ahead and use a torch.
A blazing star is born.
Actually, we're gonna have to drop something else in a second here anyway to pick up the last quest item. Oh, back to craving again, huh? Okay, so now the question. We could drop something that's not worth a huge amount of money. That is to say, the onyx here, 500 gold, is the least valuable of our slots. We could drop the food and just leave. I mean, if we drop the food and just leave, everybody's in very close to perfect condition. I kind of want to loot these curios, but honestly, there's so many things that could be inside those curios that we wouldn't even be able to take with us. No, I'm going to go for it. I'm dumping 500 gold, and we're going to keep pushing. If we end up gaining less than 500 gold worth of loot from this point forward, then I have made a mistake. Also, I guess there is to consider the fact that we may now end up with somebody being stressed out when they wouldn't otherwise have been. Yeah, maybe this was bad. Maybe this was the wrong play.
The ground quakes.
Okay, good shot. Starting on this guy because he does have to die, and hopefully the Arbalest can finish off the stress caster. Alright, so what do we have to get through here? 10. And he has 0 speed. Okay, easy. Use a stun to break the guard. I guess, to be fair... excuse me. To be fair, one of the stresses did land on this dude, who is pretty adept at relieving himself. Maybe that's not the right way to word that, but you know what I mean. Not so good. Give him the minus prot mark. Oh, you know what? I should have had her use Bola, actually. Try to push him back. Okay, we're getting through that prot. Slowly. Alright, well, he's just not going to get sniper shot. He's done a fantastic job of making that clear to us.
This expedition.
Okay, so we made it. We got way more than our value, and also we found more blood. I'm not touching that, by the way. We don't have medicinal herbs. And I don't think we're going to fight anymore. So I'm going to kill the light.
Much worse than mere trickery.
Yeah, sure. Who would trap a giant fish carcass? We leave the torch, and then we continue onward. I'm going all the way to this curio, and then we'll stop. Yeah, not bad. I don't think we're going to have to actually pay to de-stress anybody. Oh, I pressed W to interact with the thing, but apparently I'm still too much in front of the door. Ah, he failed the disarm.
Business will find no clemency in this place.
Okay, not bad. We definitely got some pretty good value out of continuing after picking up that third thing. Well, man, that just went, like, really smoothly. So smooth that I'm kind of nervous now, like the other shoe's gonna drop, but what could possibly happen? We've already made it back to town. Okay, a bunch of level 2s. This guy doesn't like the Warrens. Minus virtue chance. It's not really a big deal. Okay, bleed resist. Alright, not a bad set of traits.
A finely crafted instrument
Ooh.
of butchery and bloodshed. Yours for the taking.
Free weapon upgrade. That's neat. People are mostly controlling the curse. We have a ton of blood now. Not a ton. We have some blood now, though. Ooh, a grave robber. That's something we don't have yet. Who is still at 0 XP? Do we have 2 Hellions or just the one? We do have 2 Hellions. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and kick this extra Hellion. Hellions are great. But I kind of want to represent a lot more of the game here. So we have a lot of materials. Hold on a second. We'll figure this out in a sec. First things first. Okay, the wounding helmet. Ooh, this is a good item, but this got nerfed. It used to not have the minus stun skill chance on it. I can see why they would do that. A lot of the changes that we've seen since we came back here, since we started this new playthrough, have been focused on depowering a particular strategy. If you go back and watch my... At the time, I just called it hard mode, because they hadn't given the difficulties proper names yet. If you go back and watch my hard mode Stygian playthrough, I basically let abilities like Uppercut and the Houndmaster's Blackjack and the Abomination's Chain Lash carry me through the whole game, because they were so incredibly good. But it seems like they've nerfed the damage on a lot of them, and then they've also nerfed the items that played really well into those builds. And I think that's pretty fair. Those were some very strong strategies that were crowding out all the other strategies. That said, this is still totally worth taking. It just means that you'll be doing a lot less uppercutting people. So we might go for this. We might go back to the Cove and do that. Ooh, also Legendary Bracer. I do love a Legendary Bracer. It's very difficult to just get plus 20% damage, and I like being able to slap it on anybody without any like restrictions or anything. So this was the town event that we pulled. Let's try to remember that that's called Lost and Found. Sunshine in the Thicket. Okay, so you can do... This is going to happen pretty regularly, that we'll be able to just get free weapon upgrades. That's pretty cool. We can take better advantage of it in the future. Alright, so I'm just looking around here. I think we want to go on one of these boss fights. Do we have a party for this now? We can bring Castellan. It's not totally ideal to have him start a dungeon at 32 stress. It's not the end of the world, though. So, like, if I did, let's say, this... I suppose it a little bit matters where we go. Some party members are better at fighting in some places. It's hard not to just go for the Wounding Helmet, I think. The Legendary Bracer is great for its versatility, but the Wounding Helmet has very little downside. And -3 speed is significant, too. Like, it's not like this thing is all sunshine and rainbows. It also has 6 deeds. Do we need deeds? I mean, probably. The Hag... You know what? The Hag is a harder fight. I remember this. I remember the Hag fight. So we'd have to make sure that we built the party right. If we wanted to fight the Hag, it would be something like... You want ranged attacks against the Hag. You need people who can hit the back 2 rows. So, I mean, we could just keep these two connected. And then, like, who is a good frontliner with, like, you? This is not a bad party for Hag fighting. Yeah, I think we might do this. I really like a guaranteed 6 deeds. That's really nice. Okay. So I think that's the party. What are we going to do? Well, first of all, let's unequip all our trinkets, sort things. Let's figure this out. Who gets the free weapon upgrade? Okay, I still have to buy the ability to get the upgrades, I guess. That takes 8 of our deeds. Is that worth doing? Obviously, I wanted to expand our roster some more, but it's not actually the end of the world if I can't. We don't even actually need all the heroes we have now. We should take a peek in here just in case. Nope, nothing of interest. Okay, yeah, let's buy this. So this will increase her average damage like 1.5, half a point of crit. I think it's generally going to be about that for pretty much everybody, right? Yeah. Slightly less good for him. It's only about a point of average damage. Well, Dismas is our guy, I think. Alright, for everybody else, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. You can upgrade the ability to take weapon upgrades from this line, the ability to take armor upgrades in this line, and then this line just reduces the gold cost. I don't know that I necessarily want to take upgrades on anybody else. I guess they're not very expensive, are they? Even if we don't do this, just because I might want to hoard deeds to be able to push these up a little faster. Only $750 per weapon. Yeah, you know what? Let's... At the very least, let's buff up all the people who are damage dealers. I don't know that we necessarily need to do this guy. It doesn't raise speed. Some levels of weapon upgrade will affect your base speed. And I don't know that he needs the 1 point of damage that badly. Then again, I mean, the gold's not doing us any good just sitting in a pile in town, right? So let's figure out our items. First of all, we know this. So we're going to want to focus on gun stuff with him. We might want to bring point-blank shot. We might want to do, like, point-blank shot, duelist advance, and these two gun skills, maybe? So my thinking here is that you can use duelist advance to move forward one space. And then point-blank shot off of stuff. But really, I mean, most of the time we're probably going to want him to actually be in the second slot, because usually we want to fight the stuff in the back of the enemy party first. I guess the question is just, do we take Wicked Slice or do we take Open Vein? We're in a place where stuff bleeds. Neither of these attacks can be used to hit the back row, so they won't be of optimal use during the boss fight. We'll probably just be doing normal stabbing during the boss fight. Or normal shooting, rather. He does get the mark bonus here, because we'll be marking tough enemies anyway to help with the Arbalest damage output. He has clean guns unlocked, which is fantastic. Do we need to unlock any new party skills? Marching plan is not bad. It's not amazing, but... Why don't we go ahead and unlock Restring Crossbow for her? I like that one a lot. Her speed is low enough that she's going to go toward the end of the turn no matter what, so the -2 speed doesn't feel like it hurts that much. And obviously it's a pretty serious buff. And then she has the ability to really take care of people during camp time. This guy actually does have access to a nighttime ambush prevention skill, and it costs less time than most of the others, but it also has a little bit of a cost associated with it. We don't have a lot of direct stress relief. Why don't I buy... You know what, we should probably actually do this. Let's lower the cost of these camping skills, because we have a lot of crests right now.
Alone in the woods or tunnels, survival
Take a couple
is
levels
the
of that.
same. Prepare, persist, and overcome.
Alright, let's just make sure everybody has 4 skills unlocked. Eldritch Blood is probably not a good way to go. That doesn't seem very strong. This is not necessarily bad, especially considering what an easy time he has removing stress from himself. But let's make sure we have some de-stressing stuff unlocked. Okay, you could pick up encourage as well. Or maybe... We have some wound care. We have... Yeah, we have 2 wound cares. Oh no, I'm looking at Vaughn's skills. What am I looking at Vaughn's skills for? He's in the middle of the party. Sort by activity. Well, whatever. He probably wanted that. We probably wanted that unlocked on him anyway, at some point. So actually, wound care, I think, makes sense to unlock on this guy. Alright. I think we're ready. Now, let's talk about blueprints. If I've decided that I don't want Sanguine Vintners, because it looks like we might be okay, what would I take instead? What would be the smart thing to do? Crit and Scouting Chance is pretty good. Grave Robber, Highwayman, and Bounty Hunter are all good classes, things you're going to want to have around a lot. Accuracy and Max HP is fine. I think of these particular class buff skills, or buildings, probably the House of the Yellow Hand is the one I like the most. That would require 100 portraits. Excuse me. This wouldn't be bad either. I use this mechanic a lot. And it's not that hard to get big stacks of crests. So, maybe the Puppet Theater. Cartographer's Camp also could be good, and that one's also just crests. The bank is an interesting idea, too. 5% per week. So we're often hovering like between 10 and 20k. At 10k, 5% is 500 extra gold. That's not a small amount. And if we could be sitting on 20k and we just get 1,000 gold every week on top of, you know, whatever we managed to get pulled off during the mission, that sounds really strong to me, actually. 55 portraits. Okay. We'll keep an eye on our blood levels. We'll keep stockpiling busts for now, so that we can do this if we have to. But I may end up going with something else. Alright, well, I think we're basically done. Oh, the sanitarium. We should, we have some people with some positive traits that are worth holding on to. Let's maybe lock some of that stuff in. Now, you don't really have to lock anything in while people are still at a small number of traits, because stuff doesn't start getting replaced until their list fills up. So what about you? We could lock in Warrior of Light. Plus 10% damage on a Vestal is not a huge deal. Yeah, maybe I don't care enough about any of this stuff to spend money on it. Yeah, I don't think I do. Somebody had some good stuff. Oh, he has some things that we might want to consider locking in. Plus 2 speed's not bad. Yeah, well, we'll worry about it next week. Okay, I think we're ready. So, with that, that's going to be it for today. Come back next time. We're going out into the Weald to fight an old woman. I'm sure that'll be fair. And we'll see you then.